Welcome back. The Decatur City Council has unanimously approved a major investment in the city's recycling program. They voted to purchase a new baler and 3 artificial intelligence sorting machines for the city's materials recovery facility. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala spoke with council members and with bulk handling systems to see how this investment will help the city.
Standing next to a bin like this, it's easy to think recycling is as simple as tossing something and walking away. But in Decatur, new AI technology could help turn what's in these bins into reusable material faster and more efficiently. Recycling in Decatur has been temporarily delayed after a baler system failed. To improve operations, the city approved 3 AI-powered sorting machines that will double the amount of recycling processed each year. James Cole, the managing director of BHS Technology and Automation Division, says these machines can identify materials by shape, color, type, or even brand.
One is an AI-driven robotic picking machine, so it'll use a vacuum-based suction robot with our AI vision. It's making recycling available at an industrial level and reducing the need for a human to have to stand over a moving conveyor belt and sort other people's trash, right? So it's a job that a human doesn't want to do.
Cole says the system requires little maintenance and can even detect a jam and clear itself. Decatur Councilwoman Pam Worsler calls this a win for the city.
The baler that we currently have has some parts that are still in warranty, so that's good. But when the balers go down, that really throws things into a spin. So having another one as a backup is a really good plan. When you are able to recycle, then you're cutting down on the amount of trash that you put into the landfill.
The city also approved a new baler costing about $115,000 to handle the increased material the new AI sorting system is expected to process. In Decatur, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Decatur City Council says the new baler could take about 4 to 6 weeks to be delivered, installed, and fully operational.
Legislation that would require proof of U.S. citizenship for new voters has become a rallying cry for President Donald Trump. The Senate will take up the bill this week. It would require voters to provide proof of citizenship when they register and to present approved identification when they go to the polls, among other new rules. Federal law already requires that voters in national elections be U.S. citizens, but the legislation would lay out strict new requirements for voters to prove their status. The bill is not expected to pass the Senate because of unified Democratic opposition, but Trump is demanding that Republicans push ahead.
Iranian security official Ali Larijani and the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer Basish force, Gholam Reza Soleimani, were both killed in overnight strikes, according to Israel's defense ministry. Larijani served as Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. He hails from one of Iran's most famous political families and has been an advisor to Iran's former supreme leader on strategy in nuclear talks with the Trump administration. Soleimani has been sanctioned by the US, the European Union and other nations over his role in helping suppress dissent for years through the volunteer Basish force. The killings again strip away top leaders from the Iranian theocracy after the February 28th strike that killed 86-year-old Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iranian state media did not immediately confirm either death.
Communities from the Midwest to the South and the East Coast in recovery mode after powerful storms tore through multiple states. The severe weather included tornadoes, like the one that ripped the roof off this warehouse in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I jumped up to kind of see what was going on, and that's when I saw all the pallets from the pallet company, and it was literally blowing those up into the air.
The storm spawned clusters of tornadoes across other states as well. According to the National Weather Service, multiple twisters hit southern Missouri, impacting trees and structures, including a donkey barn that was lifted off the ground. The storms also knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of people, while leaving others with destroyed homes.
I'm just kind of in shock, but my family's all right, and we're fortunate. Lord blessed us,
As those communities cope with massive damage, people in the north-central U.S. are digging out from massive, crippling snowfall. Some areas in the upper Midwest and northern Great Lakes got hit with as much as 3 feet. Parts of the Great Lakes still facing blizzard warnings going into Tuesday morning, with strong winds and snow making for ongoing dangerous conditions and complicating recovery efforts.
It instantly iced, so we had almost every piece of equipment was stuck at one point or another.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Spring is right around the corner, but tonight is a reminder that cold temps aren't done with us just yet. In fact, it's cold enough tonight that your pipes may be at risk. So if you've been thinking about taking that freeze protector off your outdoor faucet, hold off. But when exactly should you remove it? We verify. It happens every spring. Temperatures start climbing. Homeowners eager to get their yards ready start pulling those insulating covers off their outdoor faucets, sometimes a little too early. And with temperatures all over the place over the last 24 hours, it's a good reminder not to jump the gun on removing your spigot protector. But when is it actually safe to remove the freeze protector from your outdoor faucet? Let's verify. Our sources are rotorooter.com, OneTomPlumber.com, FreezeMiser.com, and HomesandGardens.com. Here's what we found. Plumbing experts say the biggest thing to watch is the overnight forecast. If temperatures are still dropping to 32 degrees or below, your outdoor faucets could still be at risk. That's because water left inside pipes can freeze, expand, and burst. The experts are clear. Don't rush it. They suggest waiting until daytime highs are consistently above 50 degrees and overnight temperatures are staying above freezing for at least 2 solid weeks before that cover comes off. That's because spring weather, especially in the Tennessee Valley, can still bring surprise cold snaps. And tonight is a perfect example of that. Even after a stretch of above freezing temperatures, tonight we're back below freezing. And even one night below can be enough to cause problems if water is sitting in the line. When you do finally remove it, store it somewhere dry so it stays mold and mildew free and is ready to protect your faucet again next winter. And before you reconnect that garden hose, inspect the faucet and pipe behind it for any cracks or drips that may have developed over the winter. If you ever turn the water on and notice low pressure or water inside your home, that could be a sign a pipe was damaged during a freeze. It's also worth noting that a foam cover is not your only line of defense. Most homes have an interior shutoff valve connected to your outdoor faucet. Shutting that off during cold stretches gives your pipes an extra layer of protection. So we can verify that you should keep that freeze protector until nighttime temperatures are reliably above freezing for at least 2 consecutive weeks. Pull it too soon, and one surprise cold snap could have you with a burst pipe and a costly repair bill. If you have something you want us to verify, text us at 256-382-2692.
In Havana, candles and flashlights are necessities while the country faces a worsening energy crisis triggered by the United States. The White House disrupted Cuba's oil supplies from Venezuela after capturing Nicolas Maduro. And Monday, the island's power grid collapsed, plunging 11 million people into darkness.
We can't do anything. I eat in the dark, I have breakfast in the dark, I shower in the dark, always everything in the dark, all night. What else can I say?
U.S. and Cuban officials are discussing a solution, but President Trump isn't holding back his true desire. According to the New York Times, the Trump administration has made clear to the Cubans that no meaningful progress can be made until Cuba's president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, is removed from power. To help its economic situation, Cuba's government is moving to allow Cubans living abroad to invest in private businesses in their home country. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
This report in Axios says there is now a direct communications channel between the U.S. and Iran, but no end in sight yet for the conflict. A video on social media appears to show Iran's Space Research Center on fire in Tehran. The attacks and counterattacks continue, with President Trump promising a quick resolution.
It'll be wrapped up soon. We're going to have a much safer world.
But the administration is still struggling to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, leading to more volatility in world oil markets. And while there is a report in Axios that there are communications now between Iran's foreign minister and U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff, Iran's foreign minister denies it, and the president downplayed any discussions.
My biggest problem is I have no idea who we're talking to because nobody ever heard of any of these people. They're all dead.
Donald Trump created a mess in the Middle East, and he clearly has no plan for how to end it.
The Democrats continue to criticize the decision to attack Iran, while the president says he's had a discussion with one of his predecessors.
It's somebody that happens to like me, and I like that person who's a smart person. But that person said, I wish I did it. Okay? But I don't want to get into who. Okay. I don't want to get him into trouble.
And there is still no indication which former president he was referring to, but he did suggest it was a Democrat. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
I'm a seventh-generation farmer here in Ray County. I'm about 30 miles east of Kansas City. I farm corn, soybeans, wheat. The whole operation consists of about 5,000 acres. We've seen steady increase of input prices over the last several years. And of course, along with that, grain markets are up and down, up and down. Last year or so, grain markets have been down. And so it's really a struggle when the input prices continue to go up, grain prices are low. With the high fertilizer prices, I think you'll see some farmers switch some corn acres to bean acres. And I haven't pulled that trigger and decided to do that yet, but I'm sure thinking about it. I've talked to my supplier about what we need. We've got some of it locked in. He's still having some struggles getting the fertilizer that he needs locked in too.
We really don't know what the prices are going to do. It does depend on how long this conflict keeps going, and if ships and containers can start to move through the Straits of Hormuz. Hopefully we can see some calming down of those prices and really get back to I don't know if there is such a thing as a normal year, but get back to some input prices that allow some profitability on those farms.
The margins get smaller and smaller. So we just have to really work hard to trim our cost and be as frugal as we can be, but still, provide the soil and the crop what it needs to grow and produce. So we put all this money into seed, chemical, fertilizer, fuel, labor, machinery, repairs, all that stuff, parts, and you just hope that the good Lord gives you a crop to take care of all that.
TSA union leaders and advocates speaking out on how the partial government shutdown is impacting both the professional and personal lives of TSA workers.
Many are coping with eviction notices, vehicle repossessions, empty refrigerators, and overdrawn bank accounts.
TSA agents are going without pay. This happening again after they already endured the longest government shutdown in history last fall.
The financial consequences of this shutdown, damaged credit, missed payments, and lost housing will remain ever after the government reopens.
About 300 TSA officers have quit and call-outs have doubled over the last month. Agents are being asked to get second jobs to pay their bills and make ends meet.
They want this to end. They're ready to get back to some normalcy or some consistency within their lives.
Due to the staffing shortages, wait times at airport security checkpoints are painfully long. Some passengers arriving up to 4 hours early to make their flights.
I didn't come 2 hours early. I'd missed my flight. Look at this line.
We came about 4 hours early today.
I just stopped and talked to one of the TSA managers and thanked them for their sacrifice and being here. I just think they've done a tremendous job, and everyone should cut them some slack and be very grateful.
In some airports, passengers are donating gift cards to help out TSA employees who are showing up for work. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
As St. Patrick's Day celebrations kick into high gear.
Today, everybody's Irish, you know that.
The National Retail Federation estimates a whopping 60% of Americans will participate in March 17th holiday festivities.
I just woke up this morning and pulled out something green.
And with more consumers reaching for the green, consumer spending this year is expected to top $7.7 billion.
Just love St. Patrick's Day. To me, it's the most fun holiday.
That means, on average, shoppers are forecast to spend more than $47 each this St. Patty's Day, a record.
But it's really remarkable given that St. Patrick's Day falls on a Tuesday this year, which it's outside of a weekend.
And with more shoppers going green, the NRF says retailers are too.
They're seeing that shoppers across age groups are getting on board with St. Patrick's Day, particularly given all the winter weather everyone's had. People are excited to host a party, get together with some friends, maybe make some warming stew.
Still, overall spending is just a quarter of what shoppers spent on Valentine's Day last month. But for some St. Patrick's Day revelers, today's Irish-themed holiday is quickly climbing in the charts.
We've turned this into a yearly tradition. This is bigger than Christmas for us.
The NRF projects nearly 80% of us will celebrate wearing green today. So as the tradition goes, wear the green or get pinched. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
It can happen quickly. Accidental poisonings sent an estimated 67,000 U.S. children to the emergency room in 2023. It was also the cause of 90 child deaths.
They are naturally exploring and curious, which is a wonderful, amazing, and normal and appropriate thing for these children. But that means they might be curious and explore things that could be dangerous to them.
Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says parents may not realize some potentially dangerous items are in their home. That includes some cosmetics and personal care products like eye drops are an exposure risk. Household cleaners, including laundry detergent, brightly colored pods can be attractive to young hands. Plants can be a problem. Many common indoor and outdoor ones can be toxic if ingested. Foreign bodies like button batteries found in things like toys can also lead to a medical emergency, and medications, both prescription and over-the-counter, including edibles.
They can be formulated in candies or cookies or chips or other snacks or gummies that children might want to consume.
To prevent poisoning, Agarwal says to make sure you store dangerous items up, away, and out of sight, ideally in a place that can be locked. All cleaners and other household fluids should be kept in a place that's child-proofed.
If you have medicines you're no longer using, get them out of your house. Dispose of them properly so your child can't find that leftover and take it by accident.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Tommy is back for its 50th anniversary. The classic rock opera from The Who is screening exclusively in IMAX theaters this Tuesday and Wednesday only.
It takes not a super sane person.
We're away from our families for 2 straight months.
These guys aren't paid salaries. PBA only pays prize money.
They're trying to just make a living.
I got some W-2s. Too bad the money didn't equal the W-2s.
Born to Bowl looks at the handful of people trying to support themselves as professional bowlers. Most work day jobs, and when they're on the tournament circuit, they pay for their own travel and lodging. The first episode of the docuseries is now streaming on HBO Max. Brenna Whitaker channels Olivia Newton-John with her new cover of Hopelessly Devoted to You. Her music video for the Grease classic shows her with Newton-John's longtime colleague, John Farrar, who wrote and produced the original song. The video is now on YouTube. Holding on till the end in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I understand that you think I'm the right person for this mission. I understand the stakes.
Object approaching.
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct, including us.
Ryan Gosling and Sandra Hüller star in Project Hail Mary, based on the novel by The Martian author Andy Weir.
It felt like it had all of the makings to be one of those core memory movies that we grew up with, one of those sort of films that you remember where you were when you saw it.
It is so full of surprises and twists and humanity, and we can learn so many things, and it has so many wonderful characters.
I'm gonna call you Rocky. We're here for the same reason. His son is dying too.
The Martian screenwriter Drew Goddard also tackled Project Hail Mary.
This book is just much more ambitious and difficult, both in terms of its spectacle, but also in terms of its internal characterization and emotional arcs. It's just a much more complicated story.
It felt like an impossible mission to make this movie because it's so complicated, it's so ambitious. You go to another galaxy, you make best friends with an alien, and you save the world. And it's not bad for a Friday night, but that's a tall order.
There are infinite possibilities for this to go wrong.
This ship wasn't built for this. Now!
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And good evening, everyone. We had a history-making moment tonight in Huntsville as the UH women's basketball team hosting their first ever D2 Sweet 16 game in program history. And with a win, the Chargers will be off to the D2 Elite 8. Off the Spraggett Hall we go. Alan Sharp's team taking on the 3-seed Eckerd this evening over at the Barn. Early first quarter, Chargers down by 2. Lily Wilkin gets it on the wing and connect from downtown, puts the Chargers up by 1. Later on, the Chargers, they'll swing the ball around, get it in the hands of Ivy Maddox. She showcases her talent from downtown Huntsville with a three-pointer. UH now on top by 7. But the ladies of Eckerd, they would keep it close, though. Check out Emma Egan. She's going to get the ball in the paint and then make a nice special move to score with the scoop shot for the Triton. Then it'll be Egan once again while she's going to get it on the high post. Dribbles left and takes it to the rack for the bucket. They're now on top by 1. But that would not last long as Wilkin will be seen here driving on the baseline and why she's going to score despite getting the contact from an Eckerd defender as she goes up strong for the bucket. And then more from the Chargers. It's going to be Paris Opel launching the three-pointer from the corner. She connects, it's good. Chargers up by 14. And for the first time in school history, UH is heading to the Elite 8. They defeat Eckerd by a final of 66-46. Let's hear from Coach Alan Sharp.
It's been an unbelievable year. I mentioned to Scott, like, coaches may coach a lifetime and never even get to this game, much less win it. And here we are, we won it. And even in the last time out, I mentioned to them to look around at the crowd for a moment in the last time out, make sure they looked at it and soaked it up, and so they'll remember that memory for a long time.
The auto market is an expensive one right now, and many consumers are feeling the pinch. According to research by LendingTree, 2% of car loan borrowers are in default. As expenses for vehicles continue to go up, what can you do?
It's a significant thing because if you have 2% of people who are 90 days late plus, it means that you probably have a significant number of people more than that who might be 30, 60 days late.
Matt Schultz, consumer finance analyst for LendingTree, says depending on how long you've had your car and the rate you financed it at, you could look into potentially refinancing the car to see if you could save a little bit of money from your monthly payment. But
even though budgets are tight and even though you'd probably rather spend your money elsewhere, spending the money to maintain your car well is a really smart move, and they can pay off in the long run.
That's why we took a visit to Backshop Auto to find out some of the best methods to maintain your car so you're not forking out thousands of dollars more than you need to in the future.
I can tell you that by rotating your tires every 10,000 miles, you're not replacing tires as often, and you'll catch the brakes before they're worn out, and it costs you 3 times more.
Co-owner of Backshop, Greg Carlson, says it's taking care of the little things now that will prevent big, costly problems later. And the answer to some of your long-term maintenance questions is right under your nose.
There's an owner's manual in the back in that glove box that most people still have that really give you the mileage breakdown, but I can tell you cost efficiency wise, basic rules, transmissions should be getting done every 30,000 miles. Your coolant should be only done about every 5 years, 100,000 miles, so that's not a big maintenance thing. You know, and most of it is right in that manual.
And while there are some things you can get done for cheap, there's some things you shouldn't skimp on. And spending a little more money now means you're not damaging your car for would-be repairs.
Back in the good old days, oil was oil. Today, if it's calling for synthetic oils, you are damaging your motor by putting on synthetic oils. So you can't really get cheaper there.
And last but not least, one thing to remember before you even drive that car, new or used off the lot, taking the time to compare rates from multiple lenders well before you set foot in the dealership is important. Robin O'Guinier, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Take a look at intense dash cam video that shows the moment police say a stolen ambulance was rammed through an Idaho office building. According to KTVB, authorities say the ambulance was stolen in February from outside a Boise area hospital. Court documents reportedly allege the suspect stopped to pick up cans of gasoline before ramming the vehicle into the Meridian office building. The documents say the suspect poured the gasoline on the floor, and police say she intended to set the building on fire, but was unsuccessful and fled as authorities arrived. A Boise woman was later arrested, police say, and she's pleaded not guilty to all charges against her, including malicious destruction of property. Another unnerving dash cam moment, although this one purely by happenstance. Michigan State Police shared the moment a trooper witnessed a tree come crashing down right in front of his vehicle on a snow-socked road. The state police's 7th district had no shortage of weather-walloped scenes to deal with and shared lots of other downed trees and power lines, warning residents against unnecessary travel. But troopers have to be out and about, and this one was nearly in the wrong place at the wrong time, which, if you think about it, means he wound up in the right place at the right time. Think positive, people! Finally, speaking of being overly sappy, that's what caused a portion of a major Los Angeles freeway to be temporarily shut down after authorities say a truck carrying syrup overturned and spilled the sugary substance all over the place. KABC reports the westbound lanes of I-10 were closed for nearly 9 hours while crews got the sticky situation cleaned up, meaning this sugary sweet snafu left many commuters plenty salty. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush, fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True Crime Warrior Style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app, available on Android and iOS devices, streaming 24/7.
Did you know that you can get weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus? Here's how. Go to Fox 54 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or Samsung. Once you're on the main screen, push the down arrow and click on the Fox 54 Plus Weather Impact 24/7 block. Here, you'll find radar, current temperatures and conditions, traffic cams, forecasts, and more, all available on demand. Want to get back to the main channel? Just push the down arrow and click on the 24/7 stream button. It's your weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus. Start streaming today.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro, the Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
And I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker-Mazzara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.